I want to share some details with you, but first I want to ask you, what do you feel if you refer to yourself as having astronomical abundance, so much money, more money than you could ever dream of? How does that feel inside you and your body, your thoughts and your mind? Do you have resistance and you're going, oh, like that does not feel comfortable? Like, oh, I have astronomical abundance. You're in the right space, because that was me for the last 30 plus years. Or are you somebody that's going, you know what, that feels good, I'm trying that on and that feels really good? Or you're going, I've got that jacket on and it feels fine. Like, wherever you are on the scale, good, it's perfect, because I'm going to teach you that it's all an energy and a frequency, and wherever you fall into that energy and frequency, it can only get more magical, and you can only become more aligned with the brilliance of it all through this work. Now, I'm going to say, so I don't dream in polarities. Like, this tattoo reminds me not to be polarized, because I spent my life being. But I'm going to say something polarizing. We're not taught how to get rich. We're not taught how to call in abundance, because the whole system is based for us not to. We're taught that if you work hard, you overwork yourself, you do this many hours for this much income, there's an exchange, and that's the way it works. If you're here for impact, you need to have a big financial backing. You need a fat bank to be able to do and live out the life you want to be able to access the people, the places, the books, the learning, all of the things that you're going to grow into your highest, most brilliant self to do. You need money to be able to make that happen. What's the one thing that's coming forth for you when you're thinking about investing in yourself? It's always there and underlying. So that's why I'm here, to teach into it. We're told two things. We're told that if we want more money, then we're greedy, then that's greedy. Like, you're getting on all right, you've got enough, like, you've got food on the table, you've got a roof over your head, that's enough. Don't get above your station, don't want more, that's greedy. If you have that firm definition that when you're going out into the world and you're wanting more, that's greedy and you shouldn't, that is not going to bring in astronomical abundance. We're also told that money is scarce, that there isn't that much, like, when you get some, save it, hoard it, like, it's not so if we've got this mindset of that there's never going to be it coming in and that there's not enough, and when we get it we're going to hold on to it, that's never going to generate that astronomical abundance that you're born to live. Now, why do we learn like this? Why do we have this mindset? From our parents. Like every other thing that we learn, we're taught from our parents, and they tell us what came before them. Now, think about your parents' parents. They probably, or their grandparents were in a world war, and their parents before that were definitely. So they were rationed. Everything was scarce. They had to hoard. There were people who were really greedy that wouldn't give. So that mindset has been passed down. Could you ever imagine asking your parents for something and then them saying the words, yeah, I'm aligned as fuck to like the universe and the frequency of money. Go ahead. If I spend, there's more coming in. Like, first, my mum and dad saying aligned as fuck is ridiculous. But second, it just didn't happen. And I see myself falling into this mindset frequently. Even the space that I'm in now, working on my mindset is something I do on the daily, because aligning with that abundance, as that abundance level raises, your limiting beliefs come out, and my children will be asking for things. Mommy, can we have this? And it's still there sometimes saying, what's a lot of pennies? Even now, I'm going to get woo now, because if you're here, you're down a rabbit hole with me, and it's great. Believing in woo in this 3D realm is something that we're told not to do. I didn't for 30 plus years. My life looked really different. We're told that woo, fantasy, make-believe is like believing in Father Christmas. It's something that you should stop doing when you're 6 years old. And that's why a huge chunk of the world's wealth, half of it is owned by 1% of the world. It's just not fair. There's not a balance. And I'm here to show you. The 3D realm will tell you that 1 + 2 = 3. I'm here to tell you 1 + 2 can equal whatever you want it to. You are the creator of your life. Now, for a very long time, I was really lost, and I was making progress. That was crazy on this journey, because the progress I was making was impacting my life so much that I had this chip on my shoulder that I can just do it alone. I don't need help. Why? What was my biggest motive? I'm going to save money. I'm going to buy books. I'm going to do all the work. but you're limited by the stories that come up. And I was being so limited, and I started to see this, and I found my dream coach, and I was eating up her free content. I was like, oh my God, she knows, I know she knows, like, look at her go. I want that. That's how it happens, isn't it? You're listening and you're like, I want that. So that's what was unfolding, and I wanted it. And I got to a point where I was of this realization, like, I need to commit to this. Something is telling me I have to do this, and I have to do it now. And I reached out to her saying, like, I want to do something. I want to be in your space, in your energy. What have you got? And she said, okay, perfect. I'm doing, it's a 4-hour group masterclass. Come along, be part of that. She said, it's COVID, so I'm doing an offer at the moment. How does that sound? I was like, yes, send me that. It was £1,000. I've never spent £1,000 on anything. My car only cost another 2 of those. I was like, are you kidding me? And yet I did. I did it, and I nearly died because it was ridiculous, because I didn't do that. I was sensible. I was the girl that saved up for things. I was the girl that had my pots, and I put £10 a month or whatever, and I figured it out, or I went into my overdraft because I was always in my overdraft. Like, I did not spend £1,000 on something that was intangible, that you could not see. It made no sense whatsoever. And yet, it was the catalyst for it all changing and all getting really different. I used to think that life had to be a struggle and difficult and uncomfortable, and you live paycheck to paycheck, and everything was scarce, and you had to hoard. I keep finding money, like in random socks and things in my sock drawer. Keep it safe, like, don't spend it. I would save and have those paychecks and blow out, and then by the end of the month I'd have nothing left. I had to get really clear on what I didn't want anymore. I didn't want that. I wanted that to be it. And then I had to start stepping into that alignment and starting to move closer and closer towards it. And every step, it was like I was peeling away one of these learnt thoughts and behaviors and mannerisms and all the stuff, like slowly being like it was like an orgasm every time one peeled away. And I was like, oh, look what's been underneath this. It's crazy. And I started to create a new software of that there's more than enough for everybody, that money should be shared, and that there's a huge wealth of money, and that it should be used and utilized, and it should be moving. And that's what the universe wants. And as you're in this energy space and you're spending, you're drawing more towards you, even in that action. This was all mind-blowing for me. Yet I was starting to try it out, and it was starting to work, and my life was starting to get really different. But 4 hours is a small amount of time. And it came to an end, and I was hungry for more. I could see the impact that it was having. And my husband and I knew that re-signing with her on a one-to-one basis was going to come down to one thing: shock horror. So we figured out what was a manageable amount, what we could kind of afford by making do and go without and all the stuff. And my 2 a.m. meeting came, and she said, and I got back into bed after the meeting, and my husband rolled over and was like, so how much was she? I was like, she's £10,000. And he just rolled over and hugged me and held me and said, I am so sorry. And I just looked at him and said, wait, I'm doing it. It looked like I had chosen into madness, buying something that was intangible, that I couldn't afford to pay for. But what it meant was that I was saying to the universe, that I was saying to myself, and this path, I trust it all. It makes no sense, and yet here I am, and here I go. And then things started to get dramatically different for me, and this work was birthed. This is all the learning and all the lessons that I did to get myself into that space, all coming to fruition. This work is not just reprogramming. This work is not just regurgitating words and mantras and this and this. I don't want this. There are no weeds. There are no weeds. There are no weeds. And wishing and hoping. It's not that. It's seeing the weed, ripping it out, and going, cool, no weeds, like done. And every time you peel back a layer, You bring yourself into a different energy and vibration, because what you want wants you, and it's vibrating at an energy. The work is bringing you to that space where you align, and it gets to be so easy and so comfortable. It doesn't have to be this chase that everybody has told us that it needs to be. Lies. You need money to be able to move forward in the world, because it brings the time, the places, the people, the learnings, the lessons, all of it. It generates it all. To be able to get that, you have to start doing something different in a different way. And you have to start doing it now, because there will when you sit back in this, it's so easy to get back to that comfort space. So to get that different result, do something differently and start today. If this is singing to you, click below and you can get some more information about the package and what it all looks like and what the teachings are and how it's all going to be laid out. It is going to be the most supportive package that I have ever offered at the lowest ticket that I have ever offered. You need to learn money mindset, right? How do you do it when you don't have the money? This is how you do it.